Hello. Today we're going to talk about varying sentence length and how varying our sentences can make our writing sound better. One reason good writers vary sentence length is because it makes it more interesting. And as writers, we always want to make our writing sound more interesting. Also, varying the sentence length can actually add emotion to your writing, believe it or not. And it can make a word or an idea or even an event more powerful. And it'll make your reader pay attention to it even more. One way to vary your sentences is to include short, choppy sentences for effect. I think it's a fun way to do this, and it's really easy. You do want to be careful, though, of adding too many short, choppy sentences. If you read this, it almost sounds like a little kid wrote it. I woke up early. It was cold. I looked out the window. There was snow. I was excited. Nothing about that really is interesting. That's why you want to have some longer sentences mixed with some shorter sentences. One author who does a great job of using these short sentences is Kate DiCamillo. And she has a lot of examples in the novel, The Tiger Rising. Let's take a look at some of those. And today, Rob had the extra power of the tiger. All he had to do was think about it, and he knew there was no way he would cry. Not ever. I want you to pause the video and look at that last sentence and maybe jot some ideas of what those words, not ever, do for you as a reader, or what do they tell you? And then play the video again and we'll talk about it. So I see these words, not ever, and I see how powerful they are because it's really adding to the idea. Not only is he not going to cry, he will never cry. And I think words like never, always, and forever are great words to use when you're trying to show something that's really important to your character or to your story. Let's look at another one. Nobody wore pink lacy dresses to school. Nobody. Even Rob knew that. He held his breath as he watched the girl walk down the aisle of the bus. Here was someone even stranger than he was. He was sure. Again, pause the video. Maybe write down what the short sentence or sentences were and how did they add to what's happening in the scene. So I really see two short sentences. This one is only one word, and it just says nobody. And then this one here says he was sure. So in this sentence, if you notice how I read it, nobody wore pink lacy dresses to school, I paused at the period and then repeated the word nobody. So the fact that Rob in his head is repeating nobody twice shows how really this is a strange example of a girl walking in a dress. And then when it gets to the next part, here was someone even stranger than he was. He was sure. It's showing his thinking and how he's positive that as much as he's strange, he's found someone who's even stranger. Again, it's repeating an idea both times. Let's try this with my own story. So in my story, I have a girl who's really good at sports and she's having some friendship problems, but I'm focusing on how she's so good at baseball. As Charlie walked up to the plate, she looked at the pitcher who was staring at her. Charlie knew her team was relying on her. Charlie pulled the bat back, smacked the ball, and took off for first base. As she stole a glance of the ball soaring into left field, she couldn't help but smile because she knew it was a home run. I want you to pause the video and think about the most powerful part of this paragraph. Where could I add a short, choppy sentence to convey that emotion to my reader. So I'm thinking the most important part of this sentence is this right here. The fact that she hit a home run when her team really needed her. So let's see what that would look like, making it into its own sentence. As she stole a glance of the ball soaring into left field, she couldn't help but smile. I think right there, I can end that thought. I can get rid of this because my reader doesn't need it. And I can just say, it was a home run. And listen to the way it sounds when I reread it. As she stole a glance of the ball soaring into left field, she couldn't help but smile. It was a home run. I do think now that I've separated that, this sentence becomes so much more powerful because I took that pause right before it. So I want you to try doing this. Maybe find one or two places in your writing where the sentence, if it were really short, would make the part more powerful. So it has to be something that fits this emotion in your story. And remember, make sure the sentence has a purpose. You want to show your reader that you're doing it for a reason. Good luck.